I know.
Eileen, are you?
Did you want to go ahead and start us off, Joan, or do you want me to go ahead?
Go ahead.
Okay, all right. Okay. I would like to call to order the Tuesday, November 19th, 2024 Tumwater Metropolitan Park District meeting today. And so look, we need to do roll call here. So let's see, who do we have in presence? I can see in Zoom land myself. Are you going to do roll call, Melody?
I can do roll call if you'd like.
Okay, great.
Okay, Councilmember Lietta Dahlhoff,
She's excused.
Councilmember Angela Jefferson,
I'm present.
Councilmember Joan Cathy,
Present.
Councilmember Eileen Swarthout,
Present.
Councilmember Michael Althauser, Councilmember Peter Agabe,
Have we heard from Peter?
I have not,
Okay.
Councilmember Kelly Von Holtz.
Present.
All right, and so the first order of business is the approval of the minutes from the Tumwater Metropolitan District meeting that was held October 17th, 2023. We had a chance to review the minutes. Do I have a motion to approve?
So move.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay, all right. All those in favor say aye.
I
All right, okay, and next it's the selection of the officers of the board, and take it away, City Manager Lisa Parks.
Althauser. Okay. Oh, there we go. We got it. Okay. Thank you. And I appreciate your patience. I am actually much more prepared this year for this annual meeting than I was last year. So each year the board is required to elect officers according to the bylaws adopted by resolution number 2019-001. By statute, the finance director is designated as the treasurer of the Tumwater Metropolitan Parks District. The proposed action this evening is for the election of the president and the vice president. We begin with the nominations for president of the board. Once the president has been elected, I will turn the meeting over to the newly elected president for election of the vice president. And I will now take nominations for president of the board, and a second is not required at this point. Are there any nominations for president of the board of directors? I am Councilmember Swarthout.
Yes, I'd like to nominate Councilmember Von Holtz, please.
All right. Are there any other nominations? Okay, Councilmember Kelly Von Holtz is nominated for president of the board of directors of the Metropolitan Park District. Are there any further nominations? If there are no further nominations, nominations are closed, and I will call for the vote. All those in favor of Councilmember Kelly Von Holtz serving as president of the board of directors, please say aye.
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 All opposed, say no. Very good. I will now turn it over to you for election of the vice president.
Okay. Are there any nominations for vice president? Councilmember Cathy.
I nominate Eileen Swarthout.
Okay. Are there any other nominations? Okay, let's all in favor of Councilmember Swarthout being vice chair, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any noes? Okay, congratulations. Okay, we'll move on to the next agenda item, which is interlocal data share agreement with the state auditor's office.
Hello, I'm Troy Niemeyer. I'm the finance director, and I don't have a presentation for this. It's pretty short and simple. A few years ago, the state auditor's office had a data breach. The state legislature jumped in and said, we know how to fix this, and requires them to now have a data share agreement with every state and local government entity that they audit. So this is, we've had this previous one ready for the TMPD. We've got one for the city. And this is just a renewal of that data share agreement.
Okay. Do we have a motion? Councilmember Althauser, sorry, Eileen.
Thank you. I move we authorize the board chair to sign the data share agreement with the state auditor's office for the audit of fiscal year 2023.
And I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, so moved. Okay, on to item number 6, which is the audit engagement letter with the state auditor's office. Also,
Thank you very much. So the audit engagement letter is just a document from the auditor's office when they come to audit us. And it kind of lays out the roles and responsibilities of the city, or the TMPD in this case, and the role of the auditor. They estimate the audit cost, and just kind of rules for engagement. And so again, pretty straightforward document. We sign one every year, but the way our code is written at the moment, we have to get that approved by council or the board. And so we're just asking you to approve that.
okay. Do I have a motion? Councilmember Swarthout.
I move that, make a motion to approve the board chair and assistant finance director to sign the engagement letter with the state auditor's office for the audit of fiscal years 2022 and 2023, as has already been done for the purpose of starting the audit on time.
And I second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Any nays? Okay, motion approved. Okay, now the next is a public hearing. Looking over here a lot.
So we would first have a staff report from the finance staff on this is the public hearing on the ad valorem regular property tax for fiscal year 2025. And then once the staff report is done, you can ask for any public testimony, open the public hearing and ask for any public testimony. We'll check online. I'll check over on the sign-in sheet. If there isn't any testimony, you can close the public hearing, and then you'll have an opportunity to ask if there are any questions and hopefully to take action. And the same process basically for the next one as well.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Shelley Carter. I'm the Assistant Finance Director. I'm going to be talking about the property tax levy, which is very similar to the city levy that we discussed a couple weeks ago. So I'm presenting the 2025 property tax levy resolution for the Tumwater Park District, which I will refer to as the district moving forward. We're required to respond by November 30th with an approved resolution. Every year, Thurston County Assessor's Office provides us with reassessed values on existing properties, new construction and annexations, which we use to estimate values for the district's annual property tax. Property taxes are the main revenue source for the district and supports ongoing maintenance and operation costs as well as any new programs. We're allowed by law to increase that levy by 1% or the implicit price deflator, whichever is less. Typically, the IPD is higher, and this year is no different at 2.57. And I want to make a note that when the district was established, the voters agreed to cap the assessed value or the rate per 1,000 of assessed value at 75 cents, but for the first 5 years at 45 cents. That was, the 5th year was last year. So this is the first year to be able to go to the 75-cent cap. And what that did is in the first year, it resulted in a banked capacity of $1.17 million. And so we are now in the 6th year and we're asking to also use the banked capacity this year. Therefore, the resolution before you today is to certify with the county the district's 2025 property tax levy with an increase of 1% over the 2024 levy, plus the use of the banked capacity. If you could share my slide, which you've already done, thank you. The slide provided demonstrates the 1% increase in the levy for 2025, and it's estimated at $2.1 million. The 1% increase equates to approximately $32,501 additional regular property tax revenue for 2025. After adding the bank capacity, the total increase would be 1.2 million. So the bank capacity is showing 1.17. We also have the estimated new construction value at 98.66 million, and that would bring an additional 32,501 for property tax revenue. I might have my numbers mixed up there. I'll have to double check that because the increase in revenue says 32,501, and then the additional tax levy for new construction is 32,501. I don't think that's accurate, so I'm just going to note that the numbers might be different. There were no annexations for this year, and then the combined property tax levy, including the 1% increase, the bank capacity, and additional taxes from new construction, is used to calculate the district's indirect tax rate, which is now capped at the 0.75 per 1,000, but it's estimated at 49 cents per 1,000. This resolution is necessary to certify the district's request for the 2025 property tax levy as outlined, and per statute, we're required to present it at public hearing, which we're doing tonight. We also request that the resolution for the district's property tax levy be resolved at tonight's annual meeting in order to certify the levy with the county by the deadline.
Do we have anyone on the line?
We do not.
So I will close the public hearing. Are there any questions from council members? No. Council member Swarthout?
Yes, I was just clarifying that, it looks like in the background, the information that we received, it does confirm, see, for 2025 levy increase of 1% results in an increase of $32,501. So it states that in that part of it. So are we okay? Does that clarify everything for you, Shelley? Then?
I also want to point out that the numbers may change because we are doing this based on estimated values from the assessor's office, and they may continue to give us revised numbers.
Okay.
So I wouldn't really focus too much on the actual numbers, as they may actually change before we get to certify this by November 30th.
Okay. Any other questions? If not, does anyone want to make a motion? Councilmember Althauser.
Thank you. I move that we adopt resolution number TMPD 2024-001, a resolution relating to tax revenue of the TMPD fixing the regular property tax levy for the TMPD for the fiscal year ended December 31st, 2025.
And I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Okay, motion passed. Resolution passed. Okay, the next resolution is TMPD 2024-002, 2025 through 2026 biennial budget public hearing and adoption. And that's for Parks and Rec.
Thank you, President Holtz. That's very nice, and congratulations. I have a short presentation for you tonight, but at the end of it, I'm asking you to make a motion to approve Resolution 2024-002 to adopt the biennial budget for the Metropolitan Park District. So, Melody, if you could fire me up. I thought I'd just go over to tonight what we've done in the last biennium, so you're aware of what's gone on with the Metropolitan Park District, and then what we have planned and what we're expending these monies on in the next biennium. So pretty quick presentation. Thought I'd start with reminding you that when we put together the Metropolitan Park District, unlike how we do budgeting in the general fund, we actually went to the voters with a package and said, here's a list of items that you said you wanted through public survey and comment. This is how much these things are going to cost. If you vote to approve to tax yourselves to pay for these things, Here's what we're going to do with your money. So for the next 20 years, when we collect Park District money, this is where it's going to go in these specific projects. So we've held firm to that since 2019, and we continue to work towards trying to check off this list of things. One of the top ones was deferred maintenance. We heard that strong from the public. Let's take care of what we have before we build something shiny and new. We also wanted to put money into parks maintenance, parks playgrounds, and safety in parks. New neighborhood parks, 4 new neighborhood parks is a part of the Metropolitan Park District. The park at the former Trails End site, the Southwest Neighborhood Park, which is behind Tumwater Middle School, a park at the Preserve, which is completed, and a park somewhere in the vicinity of Black Hills High School. We're going to put money into the Deschutes Valley Trail. Again, that's a multi-million-dollar project that has a variety of funding sources. One of those sources is the Metropolitan Park District. We're going to start and have started a community arts program, improvements to our recreation program, and improvements to our historical properties in the Tumwater Historic District. We started a community garden program, add parks maintenance and recreation staff. We have added 2 parks maintenance staff and 1 recreation staff. And then the big ticket item, kind of the key to the whole thing for the wow factor, was that we would build a community center. So that's kind of a very high level list of what we told the voters we were going to do. So what we've done in this last biennium, we have hired our 3 staff positions, 2 in park maintenance, 1 in recreation. Park maintenance mainly focused on irrigation, repairs, and efficiency. Although with limited park staff, they take care of a lot of other things in parks. 1 recreation staff that does programming, helps with special events, and works on sponsorships. We have put 2 restrooms in 2 different parks, which was a major move forward for those neighborhoods that received those. Arts programming at all city events. We've done that, and I jotted down a list because as I was going through park events, I was so impressed with all the things that we had done in arts that I thought I'd tell it to you, and I'll find that list and come back to it. We completed Kindred Park. That's the park at the Preserve. We completed a community process to design the new park near where the Trails End Horse Arena used to be. So we have a master plan approved for that. We updated the master plan that we had approved years ago for the Southwest Neighborhood Park. And again, that's the park behind Tumwater Middle School. We've done a variety of deferred parks maintenance projects, and I'll talk about those a bit. We have started our community center design process with Barker, Rinker, CCAT architecture, and some community stakeholder groups and community meetings. And we're well into our community garden program. So you can't get by without a picture of a toilet. Here's the 2 bathrooms that we did, one at Tumwater Hill Park and one at Barklift Park. Total cost of those was just over $400,000. Those were originally budgeted in 2017 to be about $100,000 each. So price escalation has made a big impact on the park district. Arts programming. Now it's going to be time for me to find that list. If you can hold on just 1 second, I'll see if I can pull it up. Doesn't look good. Oh, there it is. Okay, so I was downstairs off the top of my head and thinking of all the arts programs that we've done. Let me run through them real quick. Arts programs at Christmas tree lighting, Easter egg dash, 4th of July festival, Brewfest. We've done painting in the park. We've done photography in the park. We've done poetry in the park. We've done 2 events at the Schmidt House called Summer at the Schmidt House. We've had art at day camps. We've had art at the Tumwater Youth Program, and probably our highlight art program, which is on the right side, lower right side of that picture, was the Tumwater Youth Performance Arts Showcase that we did with the school district at the Washington Center. And we'll be doing that again this year. So lots of art going on, and we're slowly moving towards putting together an arts commission. Community gardens, as I have said, we have invested nearly $20,000 in the community garden program at the Methodist Church on Lake Park Drive. That program is going very well. If we have other community groups that approach us that want to start and manage a community garden program that is truly available to the community to participate in, we'll jump on that and work with whatever group comes forward to make as many community gardens as we can fund within the city of Tumwater. Kindred Park, as I said, opened. That was $863,370 in Metropolitan Park District funds. An additional $480,000 was spent with park impact fees, and that was the amount to actually purchase the property that the park went on. So park impact fees used to purchase the property, park district money used to build the park. Trails and master plan, it's about $30,000 to do that plan. You can't really see it there, but takes up the site where the horse arena used to be, has a fairly significant playground, sports court. It has one pickleball court. It has a lot of trails, a lot of natural areas. It has an area to plant oak trees from the acorns that we have propagated and are still growing at our parks maintenance shop. It has a small bike track for younger riders on it, a restroom and a picnic shelter. As an example, this was a park that I estimated in 2017 would cost $1 million, more than we had ever spent on a neighborhood park. This last year, when we completed the master planning process and put it through the grinder to come up with how much it's going to cost, it's estimated that this park will cost about $4 million. Similarly, the Southwest Neighborhood Park near Trosper Lake, just off of Linwood Avenue, we had to update this, and it's certainly not as pretty of a picture, but this is a neighborhood park it's a 17-acre site, and we would develop about 6 acres of it. There's significant wetlands and buffers on this site behind the middle school. It has a youth baseball field, a youth soccer field, a restroom, a play structure, parking, and a small picnic shelter, and then it has a lot of paths that go through the native areas. This park, again, estimated at about $1 million, and updating the budget this last summer, this is projected to be about a $3 million construction project. Deferred maintenance, things that we have been able to accomplish in the last 2 years. We put speed bumps in at Historical Park and Pioneer Park, desperately needed there as sometimes those become speedways. We've stopped that activity, and it's a much safer place for families and kids. I guess it's really a safer place for everyone. We installed LED lighting at Pioneer Park throughout the facility, so from the restroom, maintenance shop, through the parking lot lights, everything there is now LED. We put in new water lines to the baseball fields at Pioneer Park.
Chuck, I have a question for you.
Sure.
The speed bumps at Pioneer and Historical Park, there's several speed bumps there already, right? Where do you plan to put these?
We have put them in, and that's probably what you've seen there. They're actually called speed humps. They're not the sharp, small bumps. They're they're about 3 feet wide, so they're easy to drive over if you're going an appropriate speed.
So do you plan to put more in there?
No, we do not.
Okay, thanks.
Lighting replacement at Historical Park, and that includes the historical light poles in the parking lot. That's all LED now. We've done a lot of work on dugouts at Pioneer Park, mostly to protect young athletes from the sun and from the rain, mostly from the sun in the summer. A lot of irrigation repair at Pioneer Park. That's a big facility with a lot of turf. So we had a lot of irrigation work to do there. Stormwater system at Historical Park, we're currently working on that with Transportation Engineering Department. We have been able to move forward with that. They've had certainly a shortage of engineers throughout 2024. So we work with them a lot to do engineering for us. And when they're short of staff for their projects, it means we're short of staff for our projects. So some of these things have taken some time, but we are moving forward on repairing stormwater at Historical Park and next year at Pioneer Park. And then turf renovations at Pioneer Park, soccer and baseball, mostly at soccer. That was, as a low bid project. The dirt underneath the soccer fields at Pioneer Park is not great. So we do a lot of work on renovating that and growing grass. Community center design, as I said, working with Barker Rinker CCAT, we've had one community open house. We've had one community steering committee meeting. We have another meeting coming up on December 3rd with our steering committee. And we'll be meeting with the city council on January 13th, I believe, to update the council on what's going on with community center design. Okay, so what's coming up? We're going to work on trail repairs and stairway repairs on Tumwater Hill Park. We're going to complete the upgrades to the historical park gazebo. That's a gazebo that's about 50 years old and has very little work been done to it. Replacing the storm system at Pioneer, identifying neighborhood park site near Black Hills High School. As I said, we had identified 4 parks in the park district plan. We had been looking at the Dolman property for a while, but now that that may be go for mitigation sites, we're looking at other property near Black Hills. We have money to acquire parkland based on opportunities. I think there's $230,000 in the budget if a site becomes available that we decide is something that benefits the citizens of Tumwater or improves Tumwater parks. Some historic district improvements, that's mostly landscaping of around the 2 houses in the historic district. We'll continue to expand our art program and develop an arts commission. We'll complete the community center design and continue our community art program. This just keeps going, doesn't it? We have a lot of sign replacement to do, and we're doing those a couple at a time. You know, as we change the city logo, every park sign has the old city logo on it. So we are slowly knocking those off and replacing them with new signs with the new city logo. We have several hundred yards of fencing above Tumwater Hill Park that borders home development, and our native vegetation, trees, shrubs are encroaching on other homeowners' properties, so we really need to get in there. That's a deferred maintenance item. We need to get in there and clean off our own fence line and be good neighbors.
Chuck, another question.
Yep.
I didn't see the fencing around the Pioneer Cemetery.
The Pioneer Cemetery isn't included as part of the park district. That's in the just general parks department.
Okay.
It's easy to get those confused back and forth. Asphalt repairs, we have a lot of parking lots and parks, and many need repair. We've continued to put those off, so we're addressing some of those. Tennis court surfacing and cracked tennis courts, addressing those. And big project, Deschutes Valley Trail, we're currently trying to wrap up construction design. Permitting on that project will take some time as it borders the golf course, a lot of wetlands, a lot of buffers, and it also crosses the Deschutes River. So that's going to be a big project for permitting. And if you can see that, that's in your packet, I believe. Everyone, yes? Good? Okay, so you know what that says. So you can see, you add all that up, we have funding for city staff. That's the 2 parks maintenance positions and the 1 recreation coordinator position. There is some money that is used to pay me, our admin people, our marketing person, the city attorney, the city administrator, HR, finance. The park district pays its own way, so everybody that puts in time on it gets a little chunk of money out of the park district. All the projects I just talked about is that middle section that adds up to about $4.9 million. Our insurance for the park district is about $10,000 a year. So the total expenditures is $5,936,499. And with that, I would be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Any questions?
Chuck, I have a comment I'd like to make. Since I've been the president since it started, and I'm looking at all of those things and actually feeling, not personally, but as the Metropolitan Parks District program and all the people who've been involved in it, quite proud. We have done a lot of things. Some are more showy than others. And I want to say, if you want to please a neighborhood extremely, put in toilets put in bathrooms.
It's true.
I've had more positive feedback about the bathrooms in the two parks than probably most anything over all these years. So that was really a good one. And many other things. But one of the questions I had, and this would relate to us proceeding to take down all of the old signs at the parks. I've had people in the community ask me what we're going to do with them. Now, I don't know if they're asking me because they'd like to have one and hang it in the end of their garage, or, you know, put it up in their den, or if they're just wanting to know for a, you know, economic reason, what are we going to do with them? So that's one question I have. And the other question is, does it fit into this Metropolitan Parks piece as we're developing new parks? One of our goals has been to plant more pollinators in our parks. And so is that a goal of some of the ones we still have going? And also our current parks are probably under the other park.
Okay, I'll take the sign one first.
Okay.
We haven't replaced, yeah, all of our park signs are made from recycled plastic. And we order those from a company that's all they do. So we haven't replaced one of those yet that is in one piece. We've had some vandalized that have spurred replacement. We had someone drive a car through one that spurred replacement. And we had a new park where we purchased one. So our first purchase of and acquiring an actual full replacement sign that's old. I hadn't really thought about what we're going to do with it yet. I'm assuming the parks staff will want to put it up in the parks shop. And it'd probably be difficult just to give that away to the public. The city attorney would probably be all over me for gifting public funds or something. So we probably can't give them to someone. The other signs, the smaller signs in parks, those are, you know, $20, $30 aluminum signs. I would imagine we just recycle those.
You imagine what?
We will just recycle those.
Okay.
And on the pollinator question, yes, and it's not just an aspect of the park district. As we design new parks or as we revegetate parks, the pollinator thing always plays a role. So the new park design at the Trails End site, the planting plan for that does take into consideration pollinators and what kind of plants we're putting in.
Are we having any outside help as we design these parks with not only how we preserve, like you've said, you know, wetlands and other groves of trees and so forth, but do they help or make suggestions about plantings in our parks, or do we do that in-house?
Oh, we do both. For the Trails End Park site, that neighborhood park, we hired R.W. Droll, landscape architect. Him and his staff, they've helped us before in designing facilities. So they present a plant list to us of native plants that will fit within the park that they think would work best, both trees and shrubs, and what to retain that's on site and what should be removed on site, like invasive blackberry, Scots broom, that kind of thing. And then we compare that to the list we have. We talk with staff in transportation engineering about what they think, and then we come up with the final planting plan.
That's good to know. Now, of course, there are a couple groups that always ask about that. Of course, one of them are the birders, and wondering, you know, what we're adding or if we will, or that kind of thing. And finally, I just want to thank you for over these 5 years. That's how long it's been, I think. On this particular project, we had to start this from scratch and put things together and get things on lists and have meetings and so forth. And Chuck, I just want to thank you for your leadership in it and all of it. This was a new kind of extra thing that I know you wanted it, but I don't know how much work of it you wanted. But
Isn't
You-
that the way it always goes? You know, it's a great team of people from my fantastic staff through
Yeah.
my office all the way up to the city council. Everybody has a part, so
Yeah.
thank you.
Well, thank you. So that doesn't mean I'm not gonna still bug you.
Yeah, please.
Okay. I will open it up for public testimony. We don't have anyone signed up here in council chamber. Anyone online?
No one online.
Okay, so I will close public testimony. Are there any other questions or comments for Chuck? If not, do I have a motion? Councilmember Swarthout.
Thank you, Chair. I make a motion to approve resolution 2024-002 to adopt the biennial budget for the Tumwater Metropolitan Park District for the fiscal period beginning January 1, 2025 and ending December 31st, 2026.
And
second
I
that.
second. Joan got
I
me.
second.
Okay. What about you, Peter? You want a second? Okay. Okay, we have a motion and in several seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
It means we
motion-
all approve.
Yep, motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, well, that was the last agenda item. Before we adjourn, though, I want to thank Councilmember Kathy for all of her hard work, and so it's an honor to try to fill your shoes.
Okay, I'll bring you a pair.
Okay. Deal. Okay, meeting adjourned. Thank you.